The council sent me a court summons for council tax I had already paid. I want to say that again because it still seems extraordinary to me, even now. A court summons for a debt that did not exist, issued by an authority with the power to send bailiffs to my door, garnish my wages, and in extreme cases pursue imprisonment, for money I had paid, on time every month with receipts. I found out on a Thursday morning when an envelope arrived with the magistrates' court logo in the corner. Inside was a liability order application for £1,847 in unpaid council tax plus costs. The hearing was in 11 days. I sat at my kitchen table for a long time. Then I made a cup of tea and went through every piece of documentation I had. I am, by habit and by profession, I work in accounts, a person who keeps receipts, every direct debit confirmation, every payment reference, every bank statement going back 7 years, sits in a folder system I maintain with slightly obsessive consistency. My council tax payments were there in full. 12 months of direct debit confirmations, each one showing the date, the amount, and the reference number matching the council's account. I had paid every penny, on time, for the entire year. The council had either misallocated my payments or lost the records entirely. And rather than investigating before taking legal action, they had gone straight to a court summons. I called the council's council tax department that afternoon. The wait time was 43 minutes. When I finally spoke to someone, she told me she could see my account and that it showed an outstanding balance. I asked her to check the payment references I gave her. She put me on hold for 6 minutes. When she came back, she said she couldn't see those payment references on their system and suggested I write in with my bank statements. Write in, with 11 days until a court hearing. I wrote in that evening, recorded delivery, signed for, tracked. I included copies of every payment confirmation and 3 months of bank statements showing the direct debits leaving my account. I wrote clearly and specifically. I was not requesting a review. I was providing evidence that the liability order application was based on an error, and I expected the hearing to be withdrawn before the date. I also called my bank. I asked them to provide a letter confirming the payment history for the council tax direct debit over the relevant period. They were helpful, and the letter arrived within 2 days. Then I contacted the local government ombudsman, not to make a formal complaint yet, but to register the situation and create a contemporaneous record. I also contacted my local councillor. I found their email address on the council's website, wrote a concise, factual account of the situation, attached the evidence, and asked for their intervention before the hearing date. The councillor's office responded within 4 hours. They had escalated the matter to the council's legal department directly. The hearing was withdrawn 2 days before the date. I received a letter acknowledging that the liability order application had been issued in error, that my payments had been located on their system following a reconciliation exercise, and that the matter was now closed. No apology, no explanation, no acknowledgement of the 11 days I had spent documenting, calling, writing and worrying about a court summons for money I had already paid. I wrote back. I asked for a formal explanation of what had caused the misallocation, a written apology, and compensation for the time I had spent resolving their error. I also raised a formal complaint with the local government ombudsman. The formal explanation arrived 6 weeks later. A processing error during a system migration had caused payments from several accounts to be misallocated. The written apology arrived with it. The compensation, a goodwill payment, was accepted after a single round of negotiation. Keep your receipts, all of them, not just council tax, everything. The moment you need them is always the moment you least expect to need them. Has an organisation ever pursued you for something you'd already dealt with? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more complete stories with no part 2s that never come, follow the page. New story every day.